Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. And for me to review of The Suicide Squad. Yep, so The Suicide Squad, and I gotta say I enjoyed The Suicide Squad. Yep, another DC film that I liked. In 2019, I enjoyed two films that was from DC. Shazam, hey, a DC universe, the DCEU film that I enjoyed, and then Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. And lo and behold, another film from the DCEU universe I liked, The Suicide Squad. And yes, like I said, I can easily say I like this better than the first Suicide Squad. And anything of why this film was a film got such good reviews. Much better ratings than the first Suicide Squad did. But James Gunn, director of Guardians of the Galaxy, he did a good job with the film. I figured, since how the first Suicide Squad, doing with the dark it had an inconsistent tone with its humor, especially with the dark, still like the dark tone of the like how it's been for the other DC films. It was like inconsistent, but I like Will Smith and I like Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. They were the only two characters and actors I liked from the movie. But like I said, and like I said, it was the dark with the atmosphere and tone, and it was just inconsistent with its humor. But here, it was much better. It was much more of a lighter tone, atmosphere, like Shazam was. For me, it was, at least for me. And I saw this with my brother, and I listened before. He put James Gunn to do it from doing a DC film. He'll probably make it a much more lighter tone, and compared to the other DC films from the universe we had. And yeah, so James Gunn, he did a good job, and I like James Gunn's director. Not only for the Guardians of the Galaxy film, but I enjoyed Slither. That was his debut. I liked Slither. Which, speaking of Slither, Nathan Fillion's in this as well, along with his main collaborator for his other movies, Michael Rooker, as well. But he did a good job with the film, and then with the cast, now of course you got four of the ones from the first Suicide comes back. Of course, Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag, and Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang. Of course, all the introductions of all the other characters. I mean, Idris Elba as Robert Dubois, aka Bloodsport. And yes, John Cena. Yes, I know John Cena as was named Christopher Smith, aka Peacemaker. Which he's gonna get. Which I kind of knew he was gonna live because he's getting a TV show, an HBO Max TV show of it. I have no desire to see the TV show at all. But I gotta say this. I gotta say this though. I would not have thought myself this because I've always been such a hard ass on being getting on John Cena every time I see him on screen. Like I said, as an actor, I think all of his films he starred in have sucked. But from 12 Rounds, The Marine, Playing with Fire, even F9, the new one, F9, the Fast Saga, or Daddy's Home, especially came back much more in Daddy's Home 2. All the films I've seen his acting has sucked. But I have to say, so I gotta give him a brownie point on this. I really do. I guess one film I probably give John Cena a pass on. I don't know. I would have thought I would hear myself say that though. Him as Peacemaker, yes, I thought he was tolerable as his acting was tolerable in this as in the movie. Because I thought he had some decent dialogue between him and Idris Elba. Idris Elba, like especially when the scene when there were in the jungle when they were killing these people. They're trying to see who was better at killing the people. Who had better, better ways of killing people, right? Just a little bit of dialogue that he had with him between him and Idris Elba. I thought it was with more on the humor of the film was much more funny. So yeah, so I'll give John Cena a pass. I know, maybe just for this once. Yeah, no, but he's still stuck at F9. The Fast Saga, no. But here, maybe I can say his performance was better here than F9. But yeah, I know I give myself saying that me giving John Cena a pass for a role in this film, yeah. But I still have no interest in I have no interest in the Peacemaker spin-off show. I have no interest in that at all. I'm not watching that. That'd be too much for me. Just because I give John Cena a pass for this one time, doesn't mean I'm gonna watch. No, screw that. The TV show. But here, okay, I give him a brownie point for that. For this, other actors. You have Sylvester Stallone voicing King Shark. He doesn't do the motion capture. It was someone else did, but he did the voice of King Shark. And Stallone, yeah, I enjoy the character King Shark. I wish I would have more him. Have more. Well, it was this is the nitpick more in the finale. I wish he had more to do though. But I liked King Shark. I thought it was an interesting character to bring to the table. And I liked King Shark. And Stallone's voice, I thought was pretty good. I'll get to more into that though. But then you have I mispronounced his last name though. But he's the guy who plays Polka Dot Man. Polka Dot Man, yeah. Which you've seen it. He's been in the Ant-Man movies. He was part of like the crew. Help with Scott and with Scott, Paul Rudd, Michael Pena, and the other two other guys are part of the crew. One doing that. He's the one that did like more of the computer hacking in the Ant-Man movies. Yeah, so that's the guy who plays Polka Dot Man. I thought he did fine. I thought he did fine too. I liked the character of Polka Dot Man. And then this girl who controls rats, which she has a little sidekick character, rat sidekick with her. It's always with her on her shoulder. Named Sebastian. Okay. She controls rats. And that's basically the main set of the team right there. Only until Harley Quinn joins in though, but that's the main team because when Amanda Waller. Viola Davis, still like the opening I thought was pretty funny and hilarious. Well, first because Amanda Waller she recruits another group of criminals, right? Like because you got one involving Captain Boomerang, Jai Courtney. One is called the TDK, aka the Detachable Kid, played by Nathan Fillion. Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie. They got this one named Weasel, who is really like a humanoid-looking weasel. He's played by James Gunn's brother, Sean Gunn, who played Kraglin from Guardians of the Galaxy, and he did the motion capture, body capture for Rocket Raccoon. So he plays the weasel. Then there's some other people named Javelin. Then you got one called Blackguard. This orange alien woman named Mangal. Then you got Michael Rooker in there. Rick Flag, Joel Kinnaman, which that's another actor I'm not too fond of because I hate the RoboCop remake from 2014. I thought he sucked in that role, and he was a problem for me in Run All Night with Liam Neeson. He played his son. Wasn't big on him in that film either, or not in the first Suicide Squad. So I think his role here as Rick Flag again, I thought was slightly more improvement, I would say, than the first one. So maybe I can give Joel Kinnaman a little bit of a pass on this one, like with John Cena as Rick Flag. So he's on the team as well, and that's basically what the main is. And first of all, spoiler if anyone's not seen this though, but I already knew most of all these guys were the opening of this. I knew most of all these guys were gonna die because from the first of the trailers, they're not in the trailer for the like after the more and the later in the trailers. So I already knew all these people were pretty much gonna die because you have the main team of King Shark, Bloodsport, Peacemaker, Ratcatcher 2, Polka Dot Man, and then Harley Quinn was captured, but joined the team later. But Rick Flag. But that's like the main team. So I knew all these people, including Captain Boomerang, sadly, were all gonna die because they only looked like it was the beginning, but they didn't appear in the rest of the trailers. So I knew all these people were gonna die. So that's why I already knew those people were gonna die because they get on this beach. You get a little bit of funny humor where first they make fun of they think about the weasel thing. It was a dog, and Jai Courtney, with his Australian accent, say, "Oh, dog, what kind of dog do you think it is? What kind of dog do you think it is, mate?" And Harley Quinn's like, "Oh my God, is it a werewolf?" And then when they arrive at the destination, they all drop down in the water, and then the weasel can't swim, and then Joel Kinnaman's like, "Did someone check see if the weasel can swim?" And then it appears he appears dead, and then one guy, Blackguard, tries calling on the enemies, try to side with them, but then his face gets blown off. And it's one thing, the film was R-rated, and more on the language and more on the gore as well, so that was good. That's one thing with the first film lacked of being R-rated, because if it's a film about a bunch of evil criminals, you should have made it R-rated, right? So this one, this pretty much the sequel fixed on what the first film wasn't, being R-rated, much more bloodier. Anyway, Blackguard gets his face blown off, like the alien Mongal. She tries to grab on a helicopter, but then it goes wrong when it's falling down, crushing her and burning her. And then sadly, Captain Boomerang, Jai Courtney, he dies, and then Nathan Fillion, he's called the detachable kid because he can detach his arms and make it float and go and hit the. But it isn't his powers is because is useless because when he detaches his arms and go into the people, the soldiers, all he does is starts freaking slapping, hit him like this, slapping him like that, right? But then he ends up getting shot, and then they shoot his arms even when they're detached. He still feels the pain. So basically he dies from being shot at, and then the guy Javelin gets shot, and then when Harley Quinn tells him to take his spear, and then Michael Rooker, sadly he gets too scared. He tries to swim away. Viola Davis says, get back in there or I'll detonate the explosive in the back of your head. He doesn't do it, so he gets his head blown off. And I like the way it opens. How James Gunn, how he addressed little things, in how the title of a certain locations or whatever in Guardians of the Galaxy. He does kind of the same thing in here. And the opening of the song, which I heard that song, oh yeah, I remember that was from the ending of the remake of Dawn of the Dead. Oh yeah, it's everybody die, Yeah, the song that was playing at the ending of the remake of Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead remake, which James Gunn, he also helped write. He wrote on the film as well. So, and I liked it. I was like, oh, okay, that's a good sound choice because everybody did die, pretty much, except for Rick Flag and Harley Quinn. So yeah, that was nice. Okay, I haven't heard that song since the Dawn of the Dead remake. Okay, that's nice to hear. Because yeah, like how pretty much everyone dies. Everybody die. You know. So that was an interesting song choice. Like some of it uses like some of those things like with Michael Rooker's blood in the water, it turns into the quote, you know, World Brothers presents or whatever, the Suicide Squad, or when smoke becomes like the old Operation Save Harley Quinn or whatever. I like the usage of how showing stuff like that of titles. So I thought the opening was pretty crazy. It was kind of like oh, it's on a beach, everybody dying on a beach, pretty much. Is this like the opening of Saving Private Ryan? Except Saving Private Ryan is much more bloodier scene, because that was like Saving Private Ryan is one of the most violent openings I've ever seen. So it was like kind of like that, but much more comedic though. But getting back to the main team of King Shark, Bloodsport, Ratcatcher 2, Peacemaker, and Polka Dot Man, because they're supposed to destroy something that's known as Project Starfish. And at first, yes, even the joke in here with John Cena is like, oh no, please, he can start making shitty jokes now. It's like, oh, Starfish? Oh, that's another term for butthole, isn't it? If there's no connection? I'm like, oh no, he's gonna start saying shitty jokes now. But as the film continues on with his character, yes, get more past. But the joke was like, oh no, he's gonna start saying jokes like this. But anyway, then they get dropped to the same location, but a little bit farther away from the other team. You know, a diversion. And I think another one I thought was hilarious as well, because they reach this group of people, right? And King Shark, he eats one person whole. And then Idris Elba and John Cena, like they're killing people left and right, seeing which one who's like kill like either the most or do better, like how they're looking at each other, you know, and then by the time they reach Rick Flag, he's perfectly fine, and the people that they killed, they're actually freedom fighters, and I like their reaction, like they're like and then King Shark spits out a finger. I thought that was pretty funny, and pretty bloody too. How they're each like John Cena and Idris Elba are killing people, whether it's men and women as well. They don't care if it's women or as well. So I thought that whole thing was pretty nicely done and funny too. And they realize that Harley Quinn's been captured, and they have to rescue Harley Quinn. And Harley Quinn's been captured, and she's been taken to this person who's like. Sort of like the president of this country, and honestly, that's a nitpick I have with it. I wasn't really interested in a nitpick I have with it. I wasn't really interested when Harley Quinn was captured. Like hit her with this whole thing with this guy, and then later she just goes and turns around and shoots him. Because she has this thing of trusting with having boyfriends. Because probably her murmuring with Joker. This whole with the whole thing with her probably being captured with this whole thing with this guy, I wasn't really interested in, because I just wanted to go back with the other team. And then also the other thing was some of the pacing is what I thought was kind of getting a little bit slow for me. Like not all of it, but just a little bit of it. But anyway, she was like getting tortured, getting shocked. And then I guess apparently Margot Robbie did this thing all by herself. Guess we know when she's chained up, right? And kills this one guy and then gets the key. Getting the key with her feet and then reaching all the way up with her feet on a hook, unlocking her. I guess apparently that was Margot Robbie doing the whole thing by herself. And so okay, that's pretty impressive. Did the whole thing where she's lifting her whole self up, trying to get the lock off with her foot. Okay, if that was Margot Robbie doing the whole thing by herself, that was pretty good. Give credit to her. I think it was James Gunn who said that in a recent review that it was Harley Quinn who and Margot Robbie did it. So, and then she goes to grab some guns, starts shooting people, And I actually like that whole thing when she's shooting people. When instead of blood, it's the flowers. Like you saw a scene in the trailer where she's like screaming out and flowers are behind her. I guess it's supposed to be representation of blood, I guess. And okay, I like the whole thing, how the way it was filmed, and visually on how the whole flowers are surrounding her. Every time she's killing people, everything's like flowers all around her. So I thought that was pretty well done scene. And then with the whole thing back with the team, like they want to get this club because they want to get this person named the Thinker, and because to tell where the project Starfish is, along with Harley Quinn as well. Well, no, they know where Harley Quinn is, but they want to get this. They want this guy to get information from him. His name is the Thinker, a scientist to work for these people, and like I think the funny thing when they're before they do that, like they want to wear disguises, right? And King Shark, Sylvester Stallone's like, I wear disguise, fake mustache is like, and Idris is like, still you're still the same, and John Cena's like, worst fake mustache I've ever seen, and actually King Shark said the F word. Well, I remember, yeah, he said the F word. I was like, okay, I didn't expect the King Shark to say that. Okay. So that was fun, and the King Shark I liked, And then after when they do the whole thing in the dance club, and then they get the guy, well, then they get captured, then they get captured, and then the whole thing where they get rolled down the hill inside the in the van. And that's when they want to decide to rescue Harley Quinn, and then afterwards they go to find the place where the thing is being held at, and all the whole thing in the rain, and the whole thing is where it's in the rain, where they killing more people, and then King Shark, like in the trailer, ripping a guy in half, which I liked, and then they started setting off explosives. Then, pardon me, and like more with King Shark, he's playing explosive, showing to John Cena, like he made it like an explosive and a figure of John Cena's like Peacemaker. Yeah, that's very nice. Doesn't even look like me. Well, Ratcatcher and Rick Flag, they take the finger. They see the whole thing with Project Starfish. It was actually a giant alien starfish named Stario, and it can make like little starfishes and go on people's face and basically becoming like zombies. Like their whole thing is like they're all connected to the big guy basically. Like the big guy can speak through them. And then they find out, and then the Thinker tells them that actually the U.S. government was actually involved in this whole project. So they want to keep the U.S. government involved in this, but keep it undercover as well. And Rick Flag takes this drive, and because he wants to make it public, because he wants to so the United States were involved with this kind of project. But then turns out that John Cena is actually a turncoat. He wants the disc as well. He gets in a fight with Joel Kinnaman, and then eventually causes this whole thing to collapse, and then John Cena stabs Joel Kinnaman. So okay, Rick Flag dies in this as well. So, but Ratcatcher gets the disc, she runs away, and then does the whole thing with a whole rewinding flashback before the whole thing collapsed. Like King Shark. This is an aquarium with all these little weird-looking water creatures. He's like, new friends. Or with Polka Dot Man, Bloodsport, Harley, where they invite the guy to shoot some people. And Polka Dot Man, I like his, like he can really shoot up polka dots, but he can shoot up polka dots though. But it becomes like a very deadly weapon. Like it can make things melt. It make where context, so it makes people melt or whatever. And also you get a little backstory of Polka Dot Man, how he got these powers, because earlier when they were in the jungle camping, you see like his face swell with polka dots, but he has to vomit the stuff out because otherwise it would kill him. Because he gets a little bit backstory of how his mother did this to him along with his brothers and sisters, but they died from the experimenting, but he's the only one who survived. So whenever there's an enemy, whenever they're an enemy they're facing, he just imagines them as his mother. Like we're looking at first like Idris Elba, John Cena, or whoever, right? They'll have the image, their face with the image of their of his mother. So that was kind of like pretty weird and creepy, you know. Each one, whether a guy or a girl's face, it's the guy's mother he's imagining. So that was kind of weird and creepy, I would say that. Or even when it's like when the giant starfish is terrorizing the town, it's like Idris will tell him, "That's your mother. That thing is your mother," and even shows the creature with the mother's face on there. So it's okay. And I like the polka dot man. So I was, and like I said, spoiler though. Sadly though, he got crushed by the starfish. I also kind of knew he was gonna die because there was a scene in the trailer where you said, "I'm a superhero," which means he's gonna probably go out like saying that before he dies. And guess what? I was right. I kind of predicted like he's gonna say that just before he dies, right? He's gonna like die a superhero type of death, right? So I was right. I caused it. He says that I'm a superhero, and then he gets crushed. I was like, damn. I liked Polka Dot Man. That sucked. I liked him. And then King Shark rips the guy's head. He goes, well, the aquarium floods. He gets tossed outside. Tears the guy's head off. And then when the starfish starts terrorizing town, like they're even military soldiers, even innocent civilians, they get their faces covered with the smaller starfishes. You know, become zombies, you could say. And then that's like King Shark. He doesn't do much in the finale. I mean, Idris Elba tells him, it's like, "That monster, num num," and he's like, "Monster, num num." He runs, takes a bite out of it, then he gets tossed, and that's pretty much about it. I'm like, that sucked. He didn't really do much for the finale against this thing. I mean, it's really, well, Idris Elba shoots it a few times, and I was trying to find another thing that how Idris Elba, he's afraid of rats, so he's actually when he was surrounded by rats. And Amanda Waller was like, "Oh, you're terrified of rats." So I was like, "It's the time to stuff my personal issues, right?" And he's like, "Ah!" And there were times where when Ratcatcher orders all the rats to attack the starfish, like he's crushing down, and he's very afraid, but he has no choice. But as all the rats are climbing over him to get to the starfish, I'm like, is this guy like Sean Connery, Henry Jones Sr. from the Last Crusade? It reminds me what Indy said about the rats. Like, he never would have made it past the rats. He hates rats. He's scared to death of them. It kind of reminded me of that from the Last Crusade, with how Sean Connery was afraid of the rats. And then and then Harley Quinn, she stabs right in the eye and goes right into it. It was like all liquid inside, and all the rats were inside, chewing it up. And then just falls down, drops dead, you know. And then all one else does. Basically, I think they're all dead because since the whole thing is dead, is they're zombies and they're connected to them. So I guess they're all the people are dead because of them. All of them wore the starfish over their face. So. And also, I further mentioned the other thing about Idris Elba, because originally they wanted to bring Will Smith back as Deadshot, but I guess he couldn't do it because was he doing like Bad Boys for Life or another movie at the time, so he couldn't do it. So that's why they decided to bring in Bloodsport, Idris Elba in, but they did not want to replace him. I guess they want to save Will Smith for like another future movie, I guess. Well, I said okay because I liked him. He was one of the only good things I liked in the first Suicide Squad. But okay, but they're saying for a future movie, that's fine. But yeah, they said that they didn't want to replace him, so that's why they brought in Bloodsport and Idris Elba. And then it's just the four of them left, and then they thread Amanda Waller before going back with Amanda Waller because Viola Davis, she does a good job as Amanda Waller, but at the same time, it's a character that you really hate because Amanda Waller is a very cold, cruel, and ruthless woman. In the comics, in the cartoons, and even here, she is a cold, ruthless woman. And I like the fact when one of the because after when their mission was technically completed, and while the giant starfish was roaming the city, causing destruction, Amanda Waller tells him to retreat back, right, to just allow this thing to happen while their mission is done. So Idris Elba was not going to do that. He was going to turn around and face it, and the rest of the team were going to face the starfish. Even Amanda Waller said, "Stand down or I'll detonate the explosive." And then one of the employees just takes a golf club and just whacks her out, knocks her out. I was like, all right, because good, she got what she deserved, because that's what she got exactly what she deserved. I'm like, good. Yeah, so good, knock her out, hit her in the head. And then back with it, they threaten her because with the disc, so because they know the U.S. government's involved, so they threaten her to give them their freedom. So she agrees to it, and they leave, and you get a little bit of a cute thing where the little rat Sebastian that was with Ratcatcher the whole time, it sits on Idris Elba's leg, and he finally works with the courage to start kind of petting it a bit. A little bit overcoming his fear of rats. So, okay, that was a little bit of a sweet thing. And then of course, during the mid credits, that the weasel is still alive, so he didn't drown. He gets up and leaves. And then after the credits, John Cena, because earlier after the whole thing started collapsing, Idris Elba, he shoots him in the neck. Because his bullet breaks his bullet. They're going to shoot each other, and Idris Elba's bullet is smaller than John Cena, so it broke, and ends up shooting him in the neck. So it didn't kill him, because he's in the hospital, which I knew he was going to live anyway, because he's getting his TV show. That's why they had after the credits, him lying in the hospital, still alive, because it's setting up for his TV show. Because he said they need him to save the world. So yeah. I mean, John Cena said, I can give him a pass on this one. Just this one time, I can give him a pass. But does that mean, is he still a good actor? No. Pretty much all those movies he starred in have sucked. So, one passable role does not make up for all the bad films he's done. No. And I have no interest in his TV show either. One passable role doesn't mean I'm not going to start sucking up, wherever, watching all this other stuff. No. That doesn't work with me. No. If you're looking forward to his TV show, that's fine. Not for me. But like I said, John Cena, I can give him a pass on this one. I would not hear myself saying that, though. But, the Suicide Squad, I enjoyed. Because it was more of the humor I thought was much better, more of the atmosphere, consistent tone with the movie. It felt more like Shazam. And I enjoyed it. And some of the songs I heard, which when the Joel Kinnaman, Idris Elba, John Cena, when they were taken in the armored car, the song that was playing in the second trailer, Rain. I do not mind the rain sometimes. That was playing in the second trailer. You heard that song was playing as they were driving in the armored car when they were captured. It's like, okay, at least they put that in there. It was in the trailer, now it's in the movie. And the song that was from the ending of the Dawn of the Dead remake. I was interested to hear that song at the opening because it made sense. Everybody died. So that made sense. So it was nice to hear that song. Okay, I haven't heard that since the Dawn of the Dead remake. James Gunn, I thought he did a good job directing. The actors for all of them I thought were pretty good. Even Margot Robbie, although she was fine in the first Suicide Squad, I didn't care for her solo role. Harley Quinn and Birds of Prey. That's what it's called, Birds of Prey. I didn't care for her solo film, Birds of Prey. I mean, her acting wasn't the problem. I just didn't care for the film itself. I just didn't think she couldn't hold on her own. Harley Quinn hold on her own solo film. That was just me though. But here I thought she did fine. Like I said about John Cena. Idris Elba I liked his banter between the other characters as well. Even with John Cena, when the scene when they were killing, when they didn't know they were freedom fighters, they were killing the people left and right, or or the little things that he had between with the girl, the rat catcher. And like I said, with his fear of rats, and by the end, he was starting to pet one. Joel Kinnaman, I thought he was a little bit more tolerable in this film, more in the first movie. Courtney, well, I guess he saw the same kind of like energy he had from the first film, but he died though. And so it was cool to see Nathan. It was cool to see Nathan Fillion, Michael Rooker, once again, collaborators of James Gunn. The score, I thought was, who did the score? Was it Marco Beltrame? Marco Beltrame? No, I was thinking of a different one. No, John Murphy. I thought Marco Beltrame was doing a score for another film I was thinking of. But Sylvester Stallone as the voice of King Shark, I thought he did good. I liked the character of King Shark. I just wish he did more in the finale against the alien starfish, because he was like biting into it, then he gets tossed around for once, and that was pretty much about it. But it was cool, like, he ate a person in half, and then he tears one person in half, and then some of the humor was like, fake mustache. And then he also bit another guy's head off. So I liked King Shark. And Sylvester Stallone's voice, he did good. Viola Davis, like I said, Amanda Waller is a character you really want to hate, but Viola Davis did a good job playing a hateable character. David who played Polka Dot Man, I liked him. It's too bad he died. The opening, like I said, with all the other members of Suicide Squad on the beach, dying on the beach, that was pretty funny as well. And yeah, the Suicide Squad I enjoy. I enjoy the Suicide Squad. Yeah, nitpicks, like I said, King Shark didn't do much in the finale. A little bit of pacing issues, especially in the middle part. I wasn't really interested in the Harley Quinn with this guy, this president that she was with. I didn't really care for that. What else? Well, it's too bad this film bombed because, well, we all know the reason, because due to COVID and living on space, because everybody's watching HBO Max. That's the thing. That's the problem with these. If films are returned to theaters, and certain films like Disney Plus or HBO Max, it takes away the box office, because people will rather sit at home. Yeah, I get the circumstances, because no one wants to go out with the freaking COVID. I'm getting tired of hearing that crap. I'm a theater guy. One of my favorite hobbies is going to the movie theaters. Okay, I don't give a damn about this whole thing. Fine, I gotta go in with certain things. Fine, but I'm going to a movie theater. People rather stay at home and watch online streaming. That's fine, but that's what takes away certain box office revenues from movies, like especially for big budget films like Suicide Squad and Jungle Cruise, which that's gonna be coming up soon. Yeah, Jungle Cruise, that's gonna be coming up soon. That's gonna be a rant. But I'm saying big budget films like that cost close to $200 or worth $200. I mean, Black Widow, I would probably say it was close to being the most successful because it had a big opening. I was like, okay, box office is coming back, right? But then Suicide Squad underperformed over its opening weekend, sadly. It's not going to make its money back because of the circumstances and also the streaming. I'm getting tired of hearing these streamings. Streaming. Is this the new thing nowadays? That's why I don't watch Disney Plus. I don't watch HBO Max. I'm not giving my money's worth to these people. Paramount Plus. What's the thing? I don't know what the whole plus thing means. I'm not giving any of these people my money. Or I'd rather go watch this theater, get a good experience for it. Watch it on the big screen. You know, sit down, get some popcorn. That's the whole point of going to movie theaters, to get away from everything. Whether you're watching a good or bad movie. I'm just getting tired of hearing all this crap. Why the reason that people not want to go in the theater. But this is all my perspective, though. But Suicide Squad, I enjoyed. Yes, I will put this as one of my favorites of this year, along with Willy's Wonderland and Nobody. And Willy's Wonderland, Nobody, and this film. So, and hey, and another DC film I liked. My brother gets on me. Oh, you hate everything. Well, hey, another DC film that I liked. So, as of right now, you can technically say this is the best superhero I've seen this year. This year, I said. So, but yeah, James Gunn, the cast, score, humor, more tone. I thought it was pretty good overall. So, and characters. But so the Suicide Squad I enjoyed. Yes, better than the first one. And I would say better than a lot of the DC movie, these new DC films. Well, I like Shazam, but the other DC film of the universe, yes, I even like this better than the Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League. Yes, at least it wasn't too. At least it was not in slow. Well, everything was not in slow mo. It was not 4 hours long. So yeah, I like the Suicide Squad better than Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League. Or any of the ones like Batman v Superman, Man of Steel, or the Justice League, either both. So, yeah. But that's my review on my take on the Suicide Squad. I enjoyed it, despite a few nitpicks here and there. I still liked it regardless. I say you put James Gunn in the helm of a DC film, it'll probably be good, and he did. So, but yeah. But thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next review. I said for Jungle Cruise, that's going to be coming up, so that's going to be a rant. Yeah, it's going to be a rant. Was not a fan of it. But thanks for watching and stay tuned. Later.